Oh, thank you very much, Goplana.
What have I done this time?
All I've got stuck in my head now is gonna be the main event. Okay.
Welcome to my hell.
You're gonna hear me roar.
My daily hell.
You know, it's funny. I have a different Lion King song stuck.
Welcome you all to my daily hell.
I've got now you're saying it. I've got just can't wait to be king. Just the one line.
Literally.
I've got a playlist that has "Be Prepared" that I was listening to this morning.
Oh man, you don't, because the theatre version has one bit halfway through "Be Prepared." We call Girls Gay Disco because 5 shirtless hyenas come on stage and do the stupid dance, like with flashing lights as scars, like in the top corner orchestrating it. It's like,
wow.
Oh dear.
I believe
It's
the
a
correct
vibe.
term is voguing their faces off.
It is. Oh man, have you ever seen someone sulk through Hakuna Matata? Because I have multiple times. Me. Oh, so many times. So many. There's 2 places where you lose to live. Second half, and it's where there's this water scene where Timon gets stuck and it's just absolutely shut. And then it's right at the end, whenever they do charity collections, the person that plays Simba comes on stage and he goes, "I say Hakuna, you say Matata, Hakuna," and it's just like,
Oh,
you want actual
awful.
like, it's just like, it's 10 o'clock. Let me leave, please.
I was actually thinking of going to see that, but not any.
So no, not worth it. Not worth it. I mean, it's beautiful, but nah, not for the price.
Are we good? Are we good to go?
We only got an hour, so we should hop into it if we're doing it.
Okay, so lastly, you did some shopping, then went back to the inn, gathering together, planning your next step to overcoming the Shades.
All right, and Corden has some new managed to get some new information and he's going to go ahead and share the letter with. I got this from one of my contacts, and could give us an in to finding out more about what all's going on. I can't do his voice. I'm sorry.
That's all right. It's good enough. So, well, what have you learned exactly?
There's a resistance group forming, and we've got a. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. Was it instructions on how to meet the leader of it, DM? Was that what it was?
It was a description of the leader. If I'm not sure if I told you he was a part of the green, the golden green. There were instructions how to get there and how to meet him, but
Problem is, it's on the other side of town.
I literally did not have the time to write the whole thing. I started it, but I was going to send it to him.
So,
but
guys, we can probably leave that for next week. because I'm going to have Corden suggest it's on the opposite side of the town from the person we were already planning to meet, so might be a good next stop after we get that taken care
Yeah, seems like a plan. If they're able to uphold their resistance while we at least perhaps take care of some main players in the Shades Watch, or at least try and find out or weaken their defenses, perhaps the rebellion will have a chance.
And at that point, Jin's going to speak up and say, have any of you ever heard of the class?
Would we?
Aside from Jin, probably not.
I don't think I'm even going to roll because Jack definitely not heard of them.
They're a criminal organization, and my own contacts have informed me that they have ties to the Shade. There's going to be a meeting coming up soon here, and depending on how we play our cards, we could disrupt that. Or wait until he lowers his guard after the meeting and deal with the leader of the Shade Watch after. But only if we can get more information beforehand.
That depends on how powerful this clasp is. Are they going to be a hindrance?
I definitely don't recommend crossing them this early on. Unless, and if we do, make sure not to leave any witnesses. Individual powers most likely vary, but from what I've heard, it's not an organization you want to cross as a whole.
Well, then perhaps we either deal with it before or after they arrive.
I'm thinking that either we crash the meeting and leave no witnesses, or we wait until the meeting's over, and everyone lowers their guard, and then we make our move against the ship. But gathering allies before then is probably our best bet either way.
Yes, it's probably best that we know what we have as our own infantry of backup. We don't want to go in there blind, be overpowered ourselves, and of course, if the people involved from the class are a bit more high caliber, then of course we don't want to get involved too soon. It's best we know what we're dealing with.
So I suggest we start off by checking out this Ravenite that Corden mentioned before, since that was the original plan anyway.
Yes, well, preparations have been done. Shade is now back to reverted as a raven.
Well then, let's go.
Okay.
Just gonna turn around and go for the door, coat billowing but dramatically by.
Very worthy purchase.
Absolutely.
Yeah, best gold ever spent. Okay, so all of you, I guess, gather and go to the farmer's house.
I say we
You traverse through town without any problems. With Corden's memory, you're able to find where exactly the house is. And it's a pretty small house just outside of town, next to these farmlands. And it's pushing late afternoon, so you see people still working on the farms, but most of them are already packing to go home or are taking breaks.
I will command that Shade takes perch on Corridon's shoulder and looks after any requirements he needs, and Macalif will take like the closest sort of fenced farm, sort of any sort of fence that's near the house that can overlook in sort of any direction to see, obviously, if anyone comes that way as like a backup. But from the conversation previously, we'll kind of stay outside, away from it, as this person, Corridon had already mentioned, was a bit sort of unsure of outsiders, and I'll kind of just perch on the fence, like one leg slightly higher than the other, and just kind of looking left to right occasionally, just trying to be like incognito in effect.
Yeah, Jin's gonna hang back as well, because if things do go south, melee isn't his style.
I think I'm going to take a long walk around the property because A, to check if anyone's, watching, and B, I don't think a 6 foot something half orc with a mountain lion is going to be very welcome at this rural farmer's house.
Corridon, of course, is going to go in since he's from the same church.
Naturally.
I'm going to follow him.
Speaking of, if I could get control of his sheet just in case there's any rolls that need to be made with him, I would appreciate it.
Or I can tell you his bonuses for the rolls.
Yeah,
For
that
now.
works too if you want. Either way.
Summer.
I'm just gonna be. Oh, where am I? Just gonna stand outside with. Oh God, my brain doesn't work. With you.
Okay.
So is Corridon the only one actually going in?
I think so.
Yep.
He's going to open the door. There's an array of very sketchy individuals spread around his property. It's not going to look good, is it? If anyone can disguise themselves, that might be a good idea.
I think Lana was going to go up as
Yeah, I
a charm person.
Ah, yeah, that'll help. The amazing duo, Corridon and Lana, strike again.
It's going to go so well.
So first, Jirak may make a perception check because you said you're looking around.
Yeah, just keeping an eye out. Mostly to just because Kega is very impatient.
I'll do that as well as I'm looking left to right.
Just going for a stroll.
Jin's keeping his distance, but he's staying focused on Corridon and those heading in, so he's leaving the watch to the others.
I didn't mean to PM that to you, GM, but
I did the same thing. Got 6.
23.
Much better.
First time I've ever played someone who's good at perception. It's lovely.
As Summer is standing by my side, I'll place my hand on her shoulder, but then my eyes, although you can't really distinguish any kind of pupil between them, will kind of roll into the back of my head, and I will take view from shade upon Corridon's shoulder.
Okay, so you, Jirak, did not see anything suspicious going around. You walk around, you see the whole house, you see the farmlands. There are other small houses around, probably belonging to other farmers. The only thing you actually see is a small raven symbol on the house. That's probably he tried to hide it, but he did not do a very good job. So Corlin approaches the door and
He'll just go ahead and knock on it.
Lana's just outside, just there, just in case. The lowest charm.
okay, for the next 30 seconds, no one actually answers the door, but you see an old male approaching from the farmlands, looking curious at Corlin and Lana. And as he approaches, he's like, "How can I help you?"
Did Corden get a name for this individual? The one he's looking for?
I think he did.
What would that name be? Because I don't have access to his stuff.
Just give me.
Is it Jordan Rice?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, the same guy.
In that case,
I
Corden
just-
he'll call out and say, "Are you Mr. Rice?"
Yes. How can I help you? He looks a bit confused.
Corden will smile and say, "I'm a member of the Church of the Raven Queen." And we'll look to see if there's any obvious reaction to that.
He says, "Well, I can see that. You have the symbol on the shields and around your neck. What can I be useful with?"
Shade will like tilt and give a car towards him as well. It's like, yeah, I'm here too.
It's recently come to my attention that you've been having some issues with this Shade Watch, and I've come to see if you might help me with my own situation there, even if it is just
He looks when you mention the Shades Watch, he just looks a bit concerned. So he goes and just opens the door, unlocks the door, and he says, "Let's talk inside."
Of course. And Corden will go ahead and head in.
Lana will follow.
So as you walk inside, he points at the table with the chairs and said, "Have a seat. Want some tea or ale or something?"
I don't know what Corden's opinion of alcohol is.
Shade will just call out and say, tea, ah!
Well, who
I
am
feel
I
like
to...
we should just get back down to it.
In that case, Corden will be like, "And who am I to disagree with the mistress? I'll have a cup of tea as well."
The moment Shade actually says tea, he jumps a bit like his cat that jump scared. But he's like, "Oh, okay. And just give me 2 minutes," and he starts boiling water.
Of course.
And as he's doing that, he's asking, "So what exactly do you want to know about
Well, I hear you've made a rather powerful decision in order to help your own situation regarding this Shade Watch. I'm sure that your plans don't stop there. We've been asked to deal with them, and it would behoove us to work with others rather than trying to handle them on our own.
Well, you should look for the members of the Grin. I mean, I asked for the blessing of the mistress so I can find them and help out. But I mean, we're farmers live in the outskirts of the city, so we have the most problems with the roaming monsters and other weird creatures and thieves.
Then I'm sure
So,
that blessing will serve you well even after the Shade Watch is dealt with.
of course, the blessing of the mistress is a gift, and I do intend to use it wise if I receive it.
That's good to hear. Well, hopefully, the Shade Watch will be dealt with quite quickly. We do plan to meet with the Grin ourselves. Have you heard anything about them that would behoove us to know before we go to meet?
The guy who leads the, I'm not sure how do they call it here. But the guy who is actually from the Grin is very charming. I mean, he looks like he has good intentions, but you can never be too conscious about something like that. I mean, he has his way with words.
I see. Thank you very much for the precaution.
At this stage, Shade will be like parading around the table that they're sat near, and kind of like dipping his beak like into any kind of cups or tankards, and like just like knocking around the pottery a bit and seeing if she can get any kind of fluids.
I'm sure the tea's almost finished by now.
The moment he sees that, he just goes and fills a cup of water and just leaves it in front of Shade. But yeah, he's almost done with the tea.
Have you got
So
any more
anything?
information about the Grin?
Oh no, I've met this person only once, but I know he gathers people from town who want to step up against the Shades Watch.
So is it well known?
Well, he does it a bit more in the shadows because of the Shades Watch. Let's say he's a performer, and his, let's say, messages are a bit cryptic.
I see. Well, one can only hope that his intentions are as pure as they seem, but hopefully we'll be able to determine that more clearly once we've met with him ourselves.
I do hope the same. He promises that after he deals with the whole Shades Watch situation, the Green will help the town to actually make a real town's god.
Indeed. Speaking of the Shade Watch, we are a bit new in town. Can you think of anything that might be common knowledge around here, but that we might not be aware of that might help us in dealing with them?
Well, let's say if you do anything stupid and openly against them, they'll probably arrest you. If you try to steal from them, they'll probably also arrest you. If you try to resist arrest, they'll probably kill you at sight. They do have patrols around town, but
About how many people are usually in those patrols?
probably around 4.
That's good to know.
Yeah, they usually patrol in falls. They do occupy all the town's guards towers around the town. So if you're looking for them, you can find them there.
Thank you very much.
Shade will continue to push the cup to the edge of the table until it falls onto the floor.
If Corden notices this, he will be ready to grab it if it goes over.
And Shade will tilt his head and look towards Rice and say, "Inside, man, inside." In the hope that he's realizes he's asking for if there's anyone on the inside that would be able to help. Of course, if the translation comes across.
I'll translate it through.
I mean, he does jump scare again when when Shade speaks.
As useful as that would be, no offense, but I don't think this gentleman would have that knowledge. The GIF, the grin would be more likely to know something like that.
It's like if you're asking for an inside man, the closest to that I have is a friend who's in jail.
Speaking of, how do they feel about people visiting those they've put in jail?
Okay, as long as you pay for.
So they do charge for it.
Yes, I mean they charge for everything.
Could be
They even
useful.
charge it for the protection.
Yes, we have been hearing quite a lot about that part. I can understand needing to fund their organization, but there should be a limit.
That is absolutely true. I mean, they were not like this at the start. They were charging a lot less, and only for things they actually really needed.
Well, you know what they say, power corrupts.
Well, it does, yeah. So he brings the tea to the table. He hands cups to both of you.
Corden will go ahead and give it a try. Did he prepare one?
It's not the best. No, just a cup of water for Shade.
In that case, after Corden takes a sip, he'll go ahead and set it over next to Shade so that she can have some.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not the best tea you've ever tasted, but it's okay. It's kind of a green tea.
All right.
JT,
And does Corden have any copper pieces on him at the moment?
He has only gold pieces.
Not even silver, huh?
I've got
He's
some
a
silver
dwarf.
if that helps.
I was just going to leave a few coppers, thanks for the tea, but if he doesn't have any,
I'll put a few silver down on the table.
well, thank you very much for the tea, the information, and the hospitality. With any luck, the next time we speak, it'll be without having to discuss something as unpleasant as the Shade Watch.
Well, I do hope so. If you need me for anything else, I'll be here. And I guess you are my blessing from the Raven.
Shay will respond as an echo and say, "Blessing." Ah.
Well, if it is, it's my honor to play the part. And Gordon will give a little bow before heading for the door.
He'll bow back and say, "May the matron guard your way."
And you as well.
This time, Shay will leave, but she'll like just dive like onto the floor, and like the most like human way possible for a crow or raven to walk, you casually walk like between Goplana and Corridon as they head out the door.
Lan's just going to keep looking down, like, what are you doing? As they walk out.
In that case, Gordon will hold the door for the Raven on its.
Okay, he looks a bit impressed when he sees this whole thing happening. Okay, so you walk out the house.
And I imagine Gordon will suggest we start heading towards the place where we can meet the Grin, and he'll, with Lana's assistance, fill everyone in on that information as well.
Okay, so you walk towards the other part of town. I think what you're giving us info is look for the house with the golden green on it. But you were told that it will be hard to find it a bit. It's hidden, the green itself. So you will give it a general area to search for it. And as you approach it, probably an hour later, whoever wants to search for the green can make an investigation.
I would imagine Shade would have had a quick fly around and seen what was what.
Can I have Gordon assist Jen in this investigation check?
The symbol you described on the outside, I believe it was on the outside of his house. Was that of the Raven Queen, or was it some other thing? Because if he was hiding it, I'm worried that might be.
Well, it was a symbol of the Raven Queen.
Yeah.
On the house, and yes,
symbol of
Perception.
Oh wait, was it investigation or perception check to find this?
Oh, I'm sorry, I did a perception for Shade.
Just making sure I wasn't messing up.
No, it's investigation.
Okay. Much more happier with the 19 though. Man.
Is that a -4 to? Oh, right. That's Raven.
Yeah, I was going to
Oh,
ask,
yeah.
why do you have a
So
minus?
sorry.
Why, didn't you know that Mackleth had an intelligence of...
I'm pretty sure that makes you incapable of speech.
Oh,
You have to
no,
have
I can
intelligence
mimic.
of like 7, I think, to be able to talk to people.
Oh, it's only like 3 or 4, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think you need to have 5 to be able to talk properly, almost properly.
All right, yeah.
And at
To
4,
be
you
able to
speak with
talk and like,
simple.
actually say meaning.
Because 1 or 2 is animal level.
Mm.
It's why oftentimes with things that only affect intelligence above a certain level, it's usually 3 or higher.
Yeah. Well, Shade sees everything, but finds nothing.
Yep, but Jin and Corridon take around 2 to 3 minutes to actually find. On one of the houses, there is this pretty well masked, but it's drawn on the side a golden smiley.
Alright, then Jin will go ahead and help everybody else gather back up and point out where it is. So, who wants to take the lead on this?
Well, that all depends. By the seems of it, Corridon has had the lead since now. At least he has some understanding of what's going on. I'm sure we could potentially go as a bit more of a group this time. It would possibly seem that we would make less of an alert. And once inside, if we let them know we have others outside waiting.
Not to mention inside the city like this, having people outside isn't going to be as helpful.
Indeed. I'm happy to follow if no one disapproves of my appearance.
Well, only one way to find out about that.
Well, we'll have to find out sooner or later. Perhaps the
Personally,
2 girls could stay outside. It may be less likely to draw attention.
or more likely to draw the wrong type of attention.
I'm sure Summer can look after herself.
Fair enough.
Pretty sure I'll be fine. I've got complaints letters to write anyway.
I'll have Shade sit on Summer's shoulder, just as a sort of a backup, and I'll just follow him. I'll follow whatever Corridon and Jin do up to this stage, I guess.
As we head in, Jin's gonna toss an aside to Mackleth, saying, "You know, it always bugs me when people talk about how scary tieflings are. Mostly because it annoys me when anyone thinks they're scarier than I am."
Oh, I don't consider myself scary. Just misunderstood. My kind usually are followed by much more sinister beings than ourselves, and usually people see that as a way of keeping us out of their affairs to protect themselves from other beasts, which is a total misconception. I feel myself, I've never had any of those beasts follow me other than for ill intentions on myself after freeing my sister.
To me, that's like barring the front door and leaving the window on.
Yes.
So what do we see when we go inside?
So who's going inside?
I think all of us but Summer and
I'm
Goplana,
gonna-
I think.
I'm gonna go in this time
Okay.
rather than stand outside because the mountain lion stands out, so I want to get it hidden somewhere.
Okay, so you knock on the door, and you hear from inside, "Just give me a second, I'm coming." And a few seconds later, the door opens, and you see this probably around 5 feet 7 inches tall half elf, blonde. His hair is tied up at the back, wearing some entertainer clothes. But he has a big smile on his face, and you see his eyes are a bit sparkling. And he turns to you and says, "Hello, how can I help you? My performance is tonight, not right now."
We hear you take requests.
"Oh, you want an autograph? Sure."
Of sorts. More of a private audience would be more what we're after.
At this, Jin's gonna speak up and say, "We're looking for a grin, but not the regular type."
Roll a persuasion check.
Oh, does he
Why
get
did-
advantage with my help?
Why does it have to be persuasion?
I would say yes.
Oh, thank goodness.
You had to have something.
I mean, I
after
don't-
that.
I don't have a penalty, but I'm not proficient.
Hmm.
So 13, not high, but not low.
Ooh, interesting.
Hopefully that's a good thing.
You see his smile getting a bit bigger. And he's, "Come in. Okay, private audience. I'm not a big fan of private shows, but I can make exceptions." So you're letting this actually a bit bigger house than the others. But everything inside is a full mess. There are clothes everywhere. You can see a loot hanging in the corner. Dirty dishes everywhere. Traces of food left. And he's like, "Sorry, it's a bit of a mess. But, oh, I can fix it." And he casts something, and you see some of the food getting cleaned. At least from the chairs. So you can take a seat. Let me just get my loot.
Macalif will pick up some of the clothing as if to put it up against him to see if it kind of would fit or suit him. not with the intention to take, but just to kind of see.
Suits you.
So you take something from the piles.
Yeah, I'm not taking it. I'm just
And-
picking it up and just
Picking it up, yeah.
yeah.
And as you pick up, it's actually a dress. So probably most of the clothes are not his.
Well, dresses have never been my thing, but I quite like the color. I think it matches my complexion.
He turns around and says, "Oh, she forgot her dress. Oh, okay. So what can my grin help you with?
We're looking to deal with the Shade Watch.
He sits with his lute and starts playing this pretty quiet but very melodic, slow tune. And what brought you to me?
Word around town is the Golden Grin is gathering like-minded individuals who are not content with the current situation. We want to deal with them, but why deal with them alone when there are potential allies to be had?
And how can I be sure you're not someone from the Shades Watch? I mean, look at you. The three of you. Or the four of you.
Well,
Is Corridon with you? So, yeah, look at the...
I kind of just flash the hilt of my blade and say, I'm pretty sure the Shade Watch don't own something like this.
He takes a
Jin's-
careful look at the blade.
As he's doing that, Jin's going to say, if we want the Shade Watch dealt with as soon as possible, I suggest you give us a chance and trust us. And I'm going to cast Suggest.
Okay.
DC is only 13, but
Ooh.
And he's not a very wise man, so... What exactly did you suggest?
I suggested that he trust us. And that'll last for 8 hours or until I break concentration.
Yeah. Okay, so... Oh wait, he's an half-elf.
Yeah, it is enchantment magic, so. Still depends on his modifier.
Yep, you still... As I said, he's not a wise man. Okay, let's say you're not part of the Shades Watch. And then what did the Shades...
Sorry, can you repeat that part?
He says... So you're... Let's say you're not part of the Shades Watch. So what did the Shades Watch do?
They haven't done much to us, but there's those we care about, and those our employers care about. At this point, Carradine would speak up and say, I'm a member of the Temple of the Raven Queen, and many of those that are members of the church have been victims of them and their greed.
I mean, the whole town is victim of their greed.
Precisely.
Okay, we can use a few more capable hands.
How many capable hands do
How
you
many
have?
of you?
Those you see here and a couple more waiting outside, just in case things weren't as they.
And what did you say?
Well, how many people do you have with you in your alliance?
Well, I do have around a dozen people who are ready to act when I say.
Do you think our forces combined would be enough?
Well, the plan is simple. We are thinking of actually crashing the whole meeting with the class members.
That's a
I'll be
danger.
working
That's a dangerous.
my
That's a dangerous
before
proposal.
that. Yeah, it is, but I will be working my way before that to actually, let's say, break the trust of the class in them.
Is there anything we
I'll
can do
have
to
my-
help with the preparation?
Well, actually, the meeting is tomorrow, so the preparation is almost done. The only thing is tonight I'll be playing at the tavern where the class members are staying. So I'll do my thing tonight. The only thing that you can actually help me with, because you look pretty capable, and I trust you, is if tonight something goes wrong, you can lead the charge tomorrow. If I'm not capable.
Where do you play tonight?
Oh, I play at the Beheaded.
And what's the security like there? Would it not be beneficial if some of us, or at least our group, helps
Well-
to make sure things go smoothly?
Oh no, they're leaving their security to the Shades Watch. Come on, they're guests. So there'll be a heavy Shades Watch presence there.
And
But
on
they're-
your own?
Of course. I mean, they still have no idea what.
What exactly is your plan with them on your own? How do you hope to overcome or gain an advantage?
I am a very charming person. So I think I'll be able to actually implant the mistrust in the class. Just by words, no actions required.
I do have an idea. What if after your performance, some misfortune were to befall one of the members of the visiting members of the class while the Shade Watch was supposed to be gone? That would further cause things to break down, would it not?
Yes, it will, but I didn't want to put the dozen people in harm's way.
If you can tell me what room the representative is going to be staying in, there won't be anyone in harm. Well, except for them, of course.
I can get that information. I'm sure about that. So what's your plan exactly?
Let's just say I'm dealing with a experimental weapon, and at that, Jin pats the bundle on it. Has a it. If I can get a clear shot, then let's just say it packs a bit more punch than the average cross.
Interesting. Is it one of those? What do they call them? Guns, boomsticks, the things
Similar.
that make a.
And at that, Jin's going to go ahead and unwrap it and reveal his thunder cannon.
Oh shit.
This is
Ew.
this is the latest mastery of artificer sciences, a combination of technology and magic.
Ooh, this looks interesting.
Basically, it looks like a rifle, but with runes carved along the barrel.
Artificer.
Hmm.
Nice.
Yes, my third class is artificer. Gunsmith, to be exact.
Exciting.
Okay, this might work. And what will
Even
you
if
be trying to?
even if I don't kill him, and preferably I won't even, but a good shot to the arm, the leg, maybe even the torso, when he's supposed to be being protected by these shade walls. I doubt their negotiations tomorrow will go nearly so well.
That's if you don't get caught afterwards.
Ah, that's the wonder of this. Its range means that I can easily get a shot off from its completely separate.
But does it make a lot of noise as the black powder?
Oh, yes, there's definitely going to be a bit of noise, so I'm not going to get off more than one shot. The idea is to get off the shot and then be gone before they can figure out what happened. They'll know something happened, but by the time they do, I'll be along.
This sounds interesting. It might even work. But I'll have to actually learn in what room are they sleeping.
Of course, we wouldn't do for me to take out some innocent and have it not affect their meeting.
Okay, keep in mind there are three of them.
As I said,
Uh,
the idea isn't
Yeah.
to just stop the meeting. It's just to throw a wrench in the works. So I don't want to. Killing all three would probably not help.
Do we know if these individuals have particular markings or are easily distinguishable?
Well, they do have some markings, but they're hidden. But I can tell you that the three of them, the two men and a woman, the woman is actually the one who negotiate everything. So she's like the higher rank. The two men are more like, let's say, gods, but not really.
Like captains?
So in that case, I should probably aim for one of the men. That way, in case it is a lethal shot, it won't prevent negotiations, but will still make it clear someone was making an attempt on them that the Shade Watch was not able to stop.
Sure, sounds great.
Whether or not it's applicable, but just in case you are seen, Jin, we could rustle up a good disguise that you can unravel in your haste escape away. At least that way people will be looking for one person and not you.
Disguises aren't exactly my specialty. I prefer not to be noticed in the first place. But if someone has an idea in that regard, I'm willing to listen.
Well, as I say, if you are noticed or things considered. And perhaps if we have you look like someone else, and you are noticed, then when you make your escape, you can discard the disguise, at least that way, if whoever saw you will describe you as one person and not yourself. Given your size and your build, I'm sure it's easy enough for us to rustle up something for you to be passable as.
But you see, that's the nice part about my outfit. Take off the coat and the hat. Most people will think I'm someone else already.
Well, it's your call.
Again, if somebody has some sort of magic or the right tools to set up a proper disguise, I'm willing to give it a shot, but as I said, I don't.
Well, there's plenty of clothes here by the appearance, and I do have a disguise kit.
What do you think? Would you be willing to lend us a hand in that regard? As Jin says, as he turns back to his.
I was just going to say that I can also give a hand in that. I mean, I'm an artist, I have my way with makeup.
Maybe if we
Should
work
we-
together, we can.
Should we
come
meet
up
you
with
back
something
here after
good.
your performance then?
Sounds great. I can give you the information and the disguise.
Excellent. In that case, it'd probably be best if the rest of us went and got some sleep then. Or at least myself. Wouldn't do to be tired when trying to line up a shot.
Sure, sounds good. Also, if you're looking for a hiding place or a place to sleep, I can.
If it comes down to that, we'll take you up on that offer. As of
Okay,
now,
so see you tonight here. A few hours after sunset.
tonight it is then. And then Jin will go ahead and wrap his weapon back up so that it's out of sight of the people as we walk down the street.
Macliffe will stand by the door ready to exit.
He'll go, oh wait, you forgot your autographs. So he'll just sign a few papers and give it to.
Of course, how could we be so thoughtless? And Jin will just have a big grin as he says that.
I will totally take one of them and pocket it.
So all of you have autographs, the four of you.
And what's his name again?
You didn't actually ask.
Oh yeah, that's why I'm asking now since we have autograph.
But you can see on the autograph, it says Elitus No. I'll write it to you.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, Jin is gonna go ahead and basically beeline it for the tavern to go get, so that he can be properly rested up for.
Yeah, we all head the same way. And I think that's our hour of play.
And I assume that probably at least Macliffe filling in Summer, if somebody will fill in Ellie as well too, on the general idea, or at least as much as can be said in public on our way.
Oh yeah.
Or after getting there. Either.
Yeah, you can even discuss it when you go back to.
So yeah, for only having an hour, I think we did a good job of getting some stuff done.
Yeah, it leaves a good foundation for next session for sure.
Also, can I say I am so happy that that we have the opportunity to do this, because this is exactly what I designed Jin for.
I can see a design.
Cool. So I'm guessing we'll call that a session for now.
It'll be even better if I can get be within 60 feet when I take the shot, because then I can drop a blood curse on them as well.
Just